Namah Shivaya. Hello, children. Welcome to our new podcast. And before we begin, I would like to thank you all for listening to the previous podcast about Paramacharya, Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Mahaswami. And I've been receiving many reviews about that, and thank you so much for that. And I also wish that you will like this new podcast as well. So, with this, I once again welcome you to the very first episode of our podcast, Goswami Tulasidas. In our country, India, we are blessed with countless great souls, many poets, saints, kings, and great thinkers. They lived not for themselves but for others. They gave up wealth, comfort, and sometimes even their families just to make our world better. Though they are no longer with us, their lives still shine like stars in our history. And today, we are going to begin the story of one such radiant soul, a devotee so pure, a poet who is so divine, that Lord Rama himself is said to have blessed his life. Yes, we are talking about Goswami Tulasidas, the great saint and author of Ramcharitmanas. You might have all heard about him, but do you know how his life began? It was no ordinary beginning. Now let's go back more than 500 years to a quiet village called Rajapur near the river of Yamuna. In Rajapur, there lived a poor but pious Brahmin couple. They are Atmaram Dubey and his wife Hulasi. They belong to Parasara Gotra, and despite their strong devotion and good conduct, they had no children for many years. They prayed, they fasted, they cried to Lord Rama, and then one night Atmaram had a dream. In his dream, Lord Rama appeared. He was glowing like 1,000 suns. And he said, "My dear Atmaram, don't be sad. Very soon you will have a son, a very special one. He will have the mind like sage Valmiki, and he will become my greatest devotee. He will bring you honor in this world and also salvation in the next." See, whenever you have a dream with God in that dream, you should believe that that is true, because God doesn't always come directly in front of you. Most of the times, that too in Kali Yuga like this, most of the times God comes through dreams. So, this dream that he has got is definitely a true one. So, children, whenever you have a dream with God in your dreams, you have to believe that that is a true blessing that you have received from God. So, to Atmaram, this divine dream came true after some time. In the year 1496, during the month of Shravana on Suddha Saptami, this boy was born. But he was born in an unholy star. That's the reason many wise men have considered that his birth was inauspicious. Apart from this, this was not an ordinary baby. There were many unique features in this newly born baby. He stayed in his mother's womb for 12 full months. How long will a baby stay in the mother's stomach? Only for 9 months. After 9 months, the baby comes out of the womb. But this boy was there for 12 full months. And when he was born, he cried out the name Rama, not like the regular children. He cried out saying Rama. And also, one more important thing, he already had 32 teeth in his mouth. You know, as you all know, children will not have any teeth, but after 1 or 2 years, they'll be getting little teeth. But that too, they will have only 16 teeth. Only a full grown adult will have 32 teeth. But this small boy, as soon as he was born, he had 32 teeth. And that too, he looked like a 5-year-old child, not like a 1 day or 2 day old baby. He was looking like a 5-year-old child, even though he was just born. So naturally, the father was frightened by looking at this. So he thought, this is very unnatural, this cannot be good. And he feared that he might have made some mistake. That is the reason God has given him such a boy. So, in his fear and confusion, Atmaram has taken a decision. Without even seeing the face of this newly born baby, Atmaram left home in deep and inconsolable sorrow. And now his wife, poor Hulasi, she was heartbroken. She had waited so long to become a mother, and now her husband abandoned her, and she was left with this small baby. She was hoping that he would come back after a few days. Because of his deep distress, he went out, but maybe after a few days he'll come. But even after 10 days, Atmaram didn't come back. So she fell ill and she was bedridden. That is a big blow on her. So she feared that she might ultimately die because of her ill health now. And now she has a small son to take care of, but she is not well and the father is not there. So, in that situation, she placed her baby boy in the care of her loyal servant Munia. There was a servant called Munia. So she handed over the baby to Munia and she passed away peacefully. Just after a few days after this, she passed away. So right now, this child doesn't have a father or a mother, and the child is left with a servant called Munia. And Munia is no less than a mother. She is very good. She raised the boy with great love and she called him Ram Bola. You remember, as soon as he was born, he chanted Ram Ram. So that's the reason she called him Ram Bola. Ram Bola means telling. So he said the name of Ram. So she named her Ram Bola. So this lady was taking care of the child for 5 years. So the boy grew up under her loving care for 5 years. But fate was not kind with Rambola. One day, Munia fell ill with cholera. You know cholera? That is a very dangerous disease. Like we talk about COVID now. At that time, it was cholera. There was no medicine for that. And she suddenly passed away because she didn't know that she's going to die. When in the case of Hulasi, she knew that she's going to die. So she has given the care of the child to Munia, but Munia didn't know that she is going to die. The best example is the COVID situation that we had. Nobody knew that they're going to die. That's the reason she was unplanned. So she didn't hand over Rambola to anyone. That's the reason Rambola suddenly became an orphan after the death of Munia. There was no one to take care of him. He wandered on the streets alone. He was hungry and no one was taking care of him. Children, you just imagine how hard that must have been for a small 5-year-old child. But remember, God never forgets his true devotees. One day, a saint came to this village, and this saint's name is Narahari Das. He was a disciple of Ramananda, and he is a true lover of Lord Rama. So he noticed this little boy sitting alone in the heat. He is very dusty and very tired. But Naraharidas has observed that this boy has a glowing and peaceful face. So he called that boy. The boy came with folded hands and he told his whole story. And Naraharidas was moved with this. He saw something very special in the boy. He had a spark of devotion, a divine light in him. So he adopted Rambola as his disciple and he took Rambola along with him to Ayodhya. You know Ayodhya? That is the place where Rama was born, that is Rama's kingdom. So Naraharidas was staying there and he took him to Ayodhya and Naraharidas taught him the sacred Rama mantra. And something even more surprising happened. When Rambola's Upanayanam was performed, Upanayanam means they put that sacred thread, that is a ceremony that is taken generally for the Brahmin family and in some other communities as well. So at that time, this Upanayanam was performed and Narahari Das was about to teach him the Gayatri mantra. And Gayatri mantra is the most sacred chant of the Vedas. During the Sandhya Vandanam, they chant this mantra, and that is given by a guru. Right now, to our fate, even Gayatri mantra is coming in records, even it is coming as an alarm for the cars also. When the car is reversing, that Gayatri mantra is played. That is not to be played like that, but earlier it was given by a guru, and the disciple who takes that will be chanting it every day. So, in the same way, Naraharidas wanted to give the Gayatri mantra to him. But even before Naraharidas could begin, Rambola himself recited that mantra. So everyone was shocked. How can a child know this mantra? They were thinking. But Naraharidas knew this boy was no ordinary soul. He must have been a great yogi in his previous birth. The previous birth, Purva Janma, in that he might be a great soul. That's the reason he knew all this. So Naraharidas took him to the banks of the Saryu river. They lived in a holy place called Sora, that is near the Saryu river. It is also known as Sukera Kshetra. So in this place, Rambola studied scriptures, he listened to the stories of Rama and lived the life of a true seeker. After this, he moved to Kashi, Varanasi, he moved to that Kashi, and he studied under the great teacher Sesha Santana Swami in the Gurukula mode of teaching. So there he learned the Vedas, Shastras, and even the worldly subjects. So Rambola's brilliance amazed his teachers. His behavior won the hearts of all his classmates. You should always remember, see, knowledge is one aspect and a good behavior is another aspect. If a person has a great knowledge but doesn't have good behavior, he is worse than a person having good behavior without any knowledge. So always behavior comes first. So Rambala had only one desire, to serve Lord Rama with his heart and soul. So after years of learning, he returned to his birthplace Rajapur. Though the village had forgotten him, he never forgot the place of his birth. His love for Lord Rama made the villagers welcome him with open arms. So, as he spent all his life in chanting the name and the holiest story of Rama, all the villagers were drawn to him for his noble life. And from this point begins the incredible journey of Tulsidas, the saint, the poet, and the unshakable devotee of Rama. So, in our coming episodes, we'll hear how Rambola became Goswami Tulasidas and how he began composing the greatest gift to all the Ram Bhaktas, the Ramcharitmanas. So, until then, keep chanting Ram Ram and always remember great lives begin with great love for God. So we'll meet you in the next episode. Jai Shri Ram.